Good. Okay, guys, I got to tell you, I finally figured it out because she goes cheese, and I smile, but right away I go into it. So what does the machine
The machine.
catch? Is me going like, so now I know. And then I do one Mississippi, two Mississippi, three Mississippi, and then I start talking. Okay, welcome to the Millionaire of the Diamonds, an incredible podcast. I'm telling you guys, this is not the podcast where you say, "Oh, they're so good." This is the podcast where you say, "I'm so good. Now I can see clearly where I'm going." And it's such a fine line, Melanie, such a fine line, because I watch a lot of good stuff, and it's all about showmanship, and you see these podcasts, but are they really changing people's lives? I know we're having a huge impact on James, and he's here. Good morning, on the road to start our journey. And I saw those lunches. We changed and continue to change people's lives, like Sherry Novak, completely transformed, Monique, Tammy. Anyways, and I could go on and on and on. So it's not a polished podcast. This is not what you're going to see with 10 billion people, maybe one day, okay? Because it takes 10,000 hours and we don't talk about it long enough. Anything you start and you're very intentional about, it's still 10,000 hours. Nobody starts at the top. The only way we start at the top is by digging a hole. So this podcast brings clarity and it really works the inside out. And tomorrow's our conference. I'm so you know what? It's going to be the best. Why? Because we have more experience. And for those that know me, every time I say it's the best, everybody afterwards says it was the best. But I know it's the best because we work hard at making it better than the last. So it's going to be, I was going to switch into French, tellement amazing. So it's going to be so much, tellement amazing. It's going to be so amazing that I know it's going to change your trajectory. So today, we're going to close off chapter one, And I finally realized the sentence, "I am the captain of my ship," blah, 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 is not Nelson Mandela. Because he's the one who used it the most. Melanie, I had to read this book 4 times before I got it. So this morning in the mastermind, everybody's laughing at me. I said, it wasn't Nelson Mandela. Oh, Maria. It doesn't matter. The point is, I got it. Doesn't matter where it comes from. And this is going to be the close today. It's going to be absolutely amazing. But before we go anywhere, here's Marie-Pierre Tetro.
Yeah.
Are
Okay.
you staying there?
Yeah.
Da, 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 da.
Okay. So first thing to do, it's time to share the podcast this morning. So you have to click on the arrow just beside where you write your comments, so you can share on every social media platform. And in the comments, you have the text that you can copy paste it, so people understand why they should listen to the podcast this morning. And you will see that when you click on the arrow to share on every social media platform, you can also share by messenger or text message. So if you have someone in mind this morning that really needs to hear that, the best way to make sure that they will listen is to send it by messenger or text message.
Am I bothering you? Melanie, say hello.
Hi.
The best team ever. Okay. Oh, they hear me, eh?
Yeah.
Okay, come and join the podcast. Okay. And the conference tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Okay. Melanie is so excited when we are in the same room. Okay, so next thing, we have our contest, Les Millionnaires des Diamants. So first, when you go on our Facebook group, Les Millionnaires des Diamants Inspirational Group, every time you post, every time they comment, you react, you gain points during the month to be in the top 10 contributor. And at the end of the month, the official top 10 get a voucher to go shop on the boutique Les Millionnaires des Diamants. And then we have a draw at the end of each month. To be in the draw, there's 2 ways. First, with the boutique Les Millionnaires des Diamants. So every time that you place an order, you take a picture, you're receiving your order, you take a picture, and you post on social media, and you tag Marie Marino and Les Millionnaires des Diamants. The second way is with the book, Les Millionnaires de Diamants. So every time you receive one of the book, you take a picture. You're doing one of the book. You take a picture. You're doing one of the quiz. You take a picture. You're doing one of the workbook. You take a picture. You're using the agenda. You take a picture. That means that you're gonna have a new picture every day that you can post on social media, and always tag Marie Moreno and Les Millionnaires de Diamants to be in the draw. And yes, tomorrow it's our conference, and it's a virtual conference. And this morning, someone wrote to me, and she said, "Oh, I cannot be there, but can I watch in replay after?" Yes. So get your ticket, because even if you cannot be with us, you can watch it after. You can do all the exercise. Everything will be available for you to really do the conference, even if you are not live at the same time that we are doing the conference. So it's really for everyone. So again, you will have the link in the comment in a few seconds, or you have it in the description of the live. So click on the link and get your ticket. You have until tonight at 10 p.m. to get your tickets for the conference for tomorrow morning.
It's exciting. You know what I'm looking at? Okay, I know it's green, but it looks black. So black,
Yeah.
black, and I go. Yeah, it's a good match. Okay, bye-bye. Okay, let's go. Let's dive in. Okay, one of the lines that stopped me cold in today's reading is this one. Okay, watch this. Another weakness, this straight from the book. Another weakness found in altogether. I have a hair. Okay, I need to be focused. Did you see how I am? It's unbelievable. Okay, let me go back again.
You.
No? Okay.
Okay, je le vois.
Wait, let's get a bit serious here, but guys.
Oh, il est long.
Okay, there we go. Okay, there.
On va l'arracher, je pense.
Wait. Bing.
Non, non, il est pris là. Okay.
Okay, okay. Oh, this is too funny this morning. Too funny when both of us are in the same room. Okay, it's fun. This is what life is supposed to be about. Okay, so one of the lines that stopped me cold in today's reading is this one. Another weakness found in altogether too many people is the habit of measuring everything and everyone by their own impressions and belief. A little bit what we said yesterday, a little bit different, but exactly the same thing. When I read that, I realized something. We don't reject ideas because they're impossible. We reject ideas because they don't fit the limits we've already accepted for ourselves. Think about that, okay? And when something challenges, when something challenges us, we believe that it's impossible, then it becomes impossible. And if we believe that it's possible, then it becomes possible. So what we're looking at in today's chapter, just so that I lay the table, it says this: not money, not success, but the danger of measuring our lives through our own limitation. So I said to Jean-Philippe and Sylvain Lalonde in the mastermind this morning, what is your go-to technique? What is your go-to technique when your brain goes to, I'm not sure, when your brain goes to, maybe I can find better somewhere. Like when your brain goes to doubt, when your brain goes to despair, like what is your go-to? So I was sharing with them, I have my own right away. As soon as I have even the slightest thought that could be leveling down, right away I go to my own thing, which is my prayer, the Our Father, and instantly it snaps me out of it and keeps me back focused on what my mission and my vision is. So what do you have? Okay, so before I ever heard about Henry Ford and Think of Going Rich, you remember I talked to you about my mother, Adelina, didn't speak French, whatever. And one of the things that made her this multi-millionaire was the clarity of not, I hope, not maybe, not if it works. She absolutely knew. And she would never argue with anybody that didn't see her way. So now I want you to pause for 2 seconds. How many times did you try to convince somebody of what you believed in? Okay, the act in itself of you trying to convince that person is telling you you don't believe it yourself. Did I say that correctly? Did it make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so when I used to train how to date parties back in the days, I told them, you have a technique. You offer the opportunity. And if they say no, move on. We need buyers anyways. Because if you keep going, is because you don't believe you can date her. But most importantly, that's when you become somebody that nobody will like. Okay. So it was very important for me to train incredible leaders like Melanie Miller, Maribel Tetro, and all these incredible people to be those leaders that everyone would love to be one day. And this will require clarity in exactly what you want to do and never, never waver from that. So the clarity followed me everywhere. Before I met Mohammed, even before I knew I wanted children, clarity was everywhere. Yes, I had written down I wanted a house on the street where my parents were living, but there was absolutely no doubt. Like, there's a difference between doing my vision board, doing my 100 goals, and actually believing in it. So where I want to go this morning, before I leave you in the hands of Melanie Miller, ask yourself, when you're doing that vision board, are you doing it just to do it, which is the majority of the cases, by the way, or are you doing it with this sentence? I am the master of my fate, the captain of my soul, because I have the power to control my thoughts. So, ladies and gentlemen, from the very start, when you're writing those goals down, if there is that little voice, because you know by writing it down that you'll never do it, then you are right. So where I want to leave you off today, Henry Ford didn't win because he was smarter, okay? He refused to let any doubt penetrate his greatest desires. So I invite you to revisit your vision boards, to revisit the end in mind, and ask yourself profoundly, do you really, really believe it? Okay. With that, I leave you in the hands of Melanie Miller.
Yes, good morning, everybody. And thank you, Maria, for your introduction. I loved this section. I loved it because I did a bit of delving into it. And the section of the book is called Masters of Our Own Fate. And in the book, Hill cites the lines of the poem Invictus by William Ernest Henley. And I can understand why Maria thought that the words belonged to Nelson Mandela, especially since there was a film called Invictus. But let me read the whole poem to you because you know me, I love poetry, and it's not long. Out of the night that covers me, black as the pit from pole to pole, I thank whatever gods may be for my unconquerable soul. In the fell clutch of circumstance, I have not winced nor cried aloud. Under the bludgeonings of chance, my head is bloody but unbowed. Beyond this place of wrath and tears looms but the horror of the shade, and yet the menace of the years finds and shall find me unafraid. It matters not how strait the gate, how charged with punishments the scroll. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. And it's important to understand that when Henley wrote this poem, he was suffering greatly physically. He had tuberculosis, and he was facing the imminent amputation of a leg. Why does Hill choose the last two lines? Because he believes that we are all masters of our own fate by how we think. That whatever we think is what is attracted to us. While reading and understanding the context of the poem, I was reminded about someone else who spoke strongly about this same or very similar subject. Viktor Frankl, in his book Man's Search for Meaning, which he wrote as a memoir of his experience in Nazi concentration camps, described how there was one thing no Nazi could ever take away from him, and that was his own thoughts. Just as Henley wrote here, Frankl stated that he could endure anything and imagine great things just by controlling his thoughts. As human beings, we have a tendency to think a lot of negative thoughts. I'm not good enough, I'm too fat, I'm too thin, I'm too tall, etc., etc. And Hill believes that if only we could be the masters of our own fate by thinking of riches and wealth and all the good things in life, that is what we will attract. That we must become money conscious, that we can be magnets for what we want. And I'm sure Henley and Frankl would agree with him. Understanding these weaknesses, believing that something is impossible, judging everything from our own perspective, and not controlling our thoughts, can significantly change the course of our lives. Having an openness of mind can allow growth in so many areas. It is important as we progress through the book to study the principles and apply them. Hill closes the first chapter with a letter sent to him by Jennings Randolph, a senator for West Virginia, who had listened to Hill give a speech at his university when he graduated. He'd been deeply moved by the speech and was determined that he, Jennings Randolph, would make something of his life. He did, and he was writing to Hill to thank him for the tremendous impact that he had had on his life. So now, to help us understand a little more about being masters of our own destiny, I'm pretty sure Mary Pierre will have a quiz for us.
Absolutely. I love doing those quiz. Okay, so this morning the quiz will help you to really see what are your thoughts that you have the power to decide what will stay in your mind, because we have thousands of thoughts every day about money, about time, about ourselves, about what is possible or impossible. So it means that we really have to control what dominates our mind. So sometimes you will realize that maybe you are not that positive, and it's not being optimistic, but it's not about pretending everything that is fine. It's about awareness again. So again, and when you answer this quiz, make sure that you answer honestly, because the quiz is a mirror, not a verdict. So there are no right or wrong answer, but to learn more about our patterns. So let's start with the question number 1. So this morning, every question you can answer A, B, C, or D. So question number 1. So when you wake up in the morning, your first dominant thought is usually A, stress about responsibility, B, worry about what might go wrong, C, neutral or automatic thinking, or D, intention for the day. Question number 2. When a challenge appears, what is your inner dialogue sounds like? So A, this always happened to me. B, this is going to be hard. C, I'll try to deal with it. Or D, this will grow me. Question number 3. When you think about your abilities, what do you mostly think? A, about your limits. B, about your gaps. C, about your skills. Or D, about your potential. Question number 4. When you imagine wealth, what do you associate it with? So A, with stress, B, with responsibility, C, with stability, or D, with freedom. And question number 5. When you reflect on your past, what is your focus? A, on regrets, B, on missed chances, C, on lessons, or D, on my growth. So did you get mostly A's, mostly B's, mostly C's, or mostly D's? So if you have mostly A, you are calling struggle and limitation. So your dominant thoughts are focused on lack, fear, and self-protection. So yes, these thoughts carry energy, and that energy will attract similar outcomes. So you want to remember that the mind does not know the difference between the truth and repetition. So it's important to realize when you have those thoughts. Then, if you have mostly B's, you are calling uncertainty and delay. So your thoughts are cautious and protective. You are not negative, but you hesitate long enough to slow that momentum. So you want to notice now how often that fear speaks before the desire. If you have it mostly C, now you are calling it stability without expansion. So your thoughts are balanced but safe. So you manage life well, but maybe under calling your potential. So you want to remember that neutral thinking will maintain the present. It rarely creates the future. So you want to change that mindset. And then if you have mostly D's, you are calling growth and opportunity. So your dominant thought align with vision, belief, and purpose. So this is exactly what we want to reach to have that connection of riches. So we want to protect again this mindset because it's powerful and it's rare to go to that level. So 5 point to realize how you can change what you are calling in. Number one, you want to notice that repetition because dominant thoughts are not necessarily the loudest, but they are the most frequent. Number two, you want to replace fear question with direction question. So, for example, you want to ask, what am I creating here instead of what could go wrong here? Number three, you want to choose one dominant thought per day because focus will give power to those thoughts. Number four, stop rehearsing the worst case scenario because rehearsal, like repetition, will just strengthen that magnetism to bring that for you. And number five, you want to speak your thought out loud. So your language will reinforce that belief. So and you will realize what you are thinking, and if you need to make a change, that you will realize it so much faster because you say it out loud. So you are already calling something to your life every day. So it's just to be aware of your thought today, so you can decide. Okay, today was not a good day. Tomorrow, I can start the day with that one thought that will be my focus today. So you don't stay in that one area of your life. So on that, again, if you don't already have your tickets for the conference, you still have until tonight, 10 p.m. to get your tickets to be with us tomorrow morning for the conference. So it's gonna be virtual and in person. So if you want to be with us, there's still places. We have it, if I'm not mistaken, 6 places left to be with us at the studio. So just write me a message and I will add you to the group of people that will be with us at the studio. So on that, I wish you a beautiful day, a beautiful weekend, and see you next week. Bye everyone.